decided to do another a quick mock draft. Everybody talks about how fast it is. I'm going to show you guys with a little bit of commentary just how quick it is. So fantasypros.com. Make sure you put in your settings. I got a live draft in about 2 weeks here. I won last year, so I get to pick where I want to draft. Of course, I'm going to go after Le'Veon Bell. That's who I think is the best back. So, change it to PPR, put your settings in for your team, and then I'm going to try to do this not too fast, but just to show you the speed of it. So yeah, Le'Veon Bell is my first pick there. What usually happens is that I usually get two of the low-end wide receiver ones come back. It looks like Justin Forsett came back to me. So I'll gladly take two RB1s. Ty, he's one that I usually target around there. Alshon Jeffries, Mike Evans, Brandon Cooks are usually available on the second turn of the snake there. And so right here is where I usually have my most of my questions here. I usually go after Kelsey, but it looks like he was taken already. So it kind of makes the decision out there for me. I like Allen Robinson this year. PPR formats, target. I talked about it a little bit before in one of my other videos. He just has a lot of targets. Jacksonville is going to be play from behind, so you get that kind of garbage time, assuming that the Jaguars can be semi-efficient there. So I'll go after Allen Robinson. And then right here, so the running backs here, I'm not too thrilled with them. I do like Chris Ivory. I like what I've seen in like his preseason games. But I would usually prefer to go more wide receiver heavy. So since Kelsey's gone, he's one I look for. I'll go after Jarvis Landry. I think that he's just going to be a solid PPR performer that you can put in your flex spot and just go forward. Alright, so when it comes here, usually if I don't get Kelsey or like Gronk in the first, I'm usually waiting on tight end, so I usually just kind of ignore this until I get down in this area. Eifert down to Rudolph. I'm perfectly happy with those two guys at this point. So here you have to kind of decide. You can go with Gurley if you're thinking like for a late round or end of the year type of player, but I would personally go with Ivory out of these guys. Looks like Todd Bowles has been talking him up. He does have some injury concerns, but we're also in like the 6th round now. So I'll go Ivory here, and then with like 5 quarterbacks left, I'm perfectly happy with Stafford if he falls to me. So what I'll do is I'll just shore up some of my let's see, running back depth. Yeah, a lot of these guys will fall back to me. I like Shane Vereen too in a PPR setting, so usually I'll go with him. So the quarterback that fell to me is Eli. So right here, what I've been fooling around with is potentially going like hanging on to Foster, because you end up with 3 RB1s in this with this mock setting potentially, assuming they're all healthy going forward, and you'll be hard pressed to lose your league even with wouldn't say weak wide receivers, but definitely weaker in on this team. So since there's 3 left, and I'm gonna actually I don't Heath Miller's kind of just there. I don't really care for him, but I'd like the upside of that, especially like this is my 9th round pick of Foster. Might be a little bit early, but you do have to gamble on those. And then yeah, so Heath Miller fell to me. Jordan Reed's healthy. Niles Paul is out, so he has a lot of upside, but there's a lot of QB issues going on there. So I probably would just wait, because not throw with these at all. I'd rather take a flyer on Vernon Davis a little bit later. The running backs at this point, you're pretty much getting like handcuffs, or you're gambling on something. So here, I like Steve Smith this year, especially with all those wide receiver injuries. There doesn't seem to be another one besides him that will be consistent. So I'm going to go ahead and go with him. And so right now we look at it. So I got 2 running backs. I got 5 running backs and 4 receivers. Heath Miller's still there because everybody already drafted one, because I'm in a 12-man. So that's perfectly fine. And then we come down here. We like anybody. I do like Eddie Royal this year too. lot of question marks with the other one. Kendall Wright looks like he has a good rapport with Mariota, so that's not doesn't look too bad. Jets offense will probably be a little bit better than we expect this year, especially with Geno Smith out now. Fitzpatrick is perfectly serviceable. He'll throw some interceptions and may not take you to the playoffs, but he's very solid. But I'm still going to go with Eddie Royal there, just because of the rapport with Cutler. And this last round here, or actually not last round, I got two more. So Heath Miller's still there. So what I'll do is I'll go with Heath, just because he, gets you 8 to 15 points, assuming that if there's a touchdown. And then usually I like to, shore that up a little bit if I really didn't care for the tight end that I had. And I guess Larry Donnell is probably the best option there. So I'll just double do it at the end and just kind of swap back and forth. That one's pretty. You could go a lot of ways with that. I wouldn't. If you wanted to take a stab at Devin Funchess, potentially Stevie Johnson, Devontae Parker's still on there. I probably should have taken a little bit more time on that one. I think that he'll turn it around and potentially be the the 1 or 2 for that team, for the Dolphins. And then here I usually just go by consensus, especially in a mock draft, because I'll have a better idea when the live draft comes around. And then since I got 2 running back ones, should have pretty good rating here. And I ended with Foster. So it kind of shows you the rating there. So it says that I had, arguably the best team here with bench and everything. I wasn't even necessarily going by percentages too much. Decker was on the board, and I kind of went for other shots there. So yeah, definitely give it a shot. If you haven't done Fantasy Pros, you can see here I did a handful of them today. I'm sure I'll do another, 50 to 100 before my draft in 2 weeks from today. So yeah, if you guys have any questions or comments or anything, let me know, and I'll catch you guys next.